What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and welcome to some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. Now, a huge thank you to each and every one of you for being here every day to support this channel and get involved in the comments below. It really does mean the world to me, so thank you so much for that. And as always, you can support the channel if you really want to, either through Patreon membership, which the link is down in the description, or you can join via YouTube membership with the join button down below. A huge thank you for everyone who's done so far. It's really helpful. And with that being said, let's just crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first story comes from Ali Von Click. Am I the arsehole if I tell my boyfriend not to refer to and introduce me as his wife? My 30 female boyfriend, 33 male, have been together for over 5 years and have a 1-year-old son together. We've been homeless together, lost a baby together, and slowly built our lives back up. He never liked the idea of marriage, saying, "I don't see why the government has to be involved and why we should have to prove our love to anyone." I get it, but a marriage/proposal are very important to me. He said he'd marry me because he plans on being with me indefinitely anyway, and because he thinks it's good for our son. During my pregnancy, he mentioned several times that he wanted to get married before our son was born. I waited, but never got a proposal or anything. Last month was our 5-year anniversary, and I thought it'd be great to get married that day. I was heartbroken he still never proposed, especially because he proposed to his last girlfriend before me with a ring and everything. I let the idea of a romantic proposal go and reminded myself that marrying him was the most important part. He said if we could pull it off, he was fine with it. He wanted nothing to do with setting it up, which was okay with me. Even for our baby shower, he said he didn't want to hear about it. So a family friend and I took care of it ourselves. I changed my schedule at work, picked a location, time, 2 witnesses, and someone ordained to officiate. It was meant to be a small ceremony, just to sign the license to make it legal. I ran some of the details by him throughout the planning, and he kept agreeing they were fine. 2 days before the wedding, the day I planned to go get their license, he said he felt forced and pushed into getting married, and didn't like the idea of doing it now. So I had to cancel everything and explain to everyone at work when they asked how the wedding went. It was so pathetic and humiliating. I went into a major depressive episode and didn't even think we would be together much longer. He said he'd definitely marry me eventually, but not now. I told him after what happened I would never bring up marriage to him again. His response was, "Okay, great, that's awesome." Not sarcastic at all, just completely relieved and happy. But I also told him that I wouldn't just be his girlfriend forever. He didn't seem bothered by that. He was just happy I'd shut the fuck up about getting married to him. He eventually introduced me to someone as, "This is my wife, Alicia." It felt like a slap in the fucking face. He referred to me as his wife occasionally throughout the years before the wedding fiasco, but the fact he still today calls me his wife really upsets me, because he fucked off that chance when he had it. Would I be the arsehole if I told him I don't appreciate being called his wife after everything that happened and not to refer me to as such? I want to make sure I'm not in the wrong before I bring it up and potentially cause an argument over it. I think in this, he has no desire to get married by the sounds of it, and he's just leading you along thinking that you might just get over it one day when you clearly ain't going to get over it. But I'm going to be very interested in the comments to see what they say on this one. Shut up and fix my house says, "Not the arsehole. After something like that, I'd correct him in public with something like, 'No, I'm his girlfriend. I would have been his wife, but he recently backed out of our wedding.' I feel you deserve some clarity. He doesn't want to marry you, but he feels the need to introduce you as his wife." Personal Judge says, "Not the arsehole. Here are some things you are now free to do that would still not make you the arsehole. Get your own apartment. Get child support. Start dating other people who mean what they say. You do not need to discuss any of the above with him, because nothing this man has to say means anything. The man is a joke." And Damn It Janet says, "You should say, 'What? When did we get married? Did I miss it?' Not the arsehole. Call him out on it. You're not overreacting or in the wrong. He wants all the benefits of being married without actually putting in any effort. If he's going to call you his wife, then he actually needs to make it official. And if you want to be extra petty, call him out in front of whoever he's introduced you to. And say, 'Dude, I'm not your wife until you put a ring on it.'" Now, what would you do in this situation if you was OP? Would you call him out? Would you leave him? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is from Outrageous County. Am I the arsehole for telling my boyfriend that if he doesn't go to work, he's no longer using anything of mine, including my car and Wi-Fi? 28 female, 29 male. Been together for like 4 years, I think. I love this guy to death, but when I say he is lazy, that is seriously a huge fucking understatement and doesn't even shed an ounce of light on the actual problem. He's also a gaming junkie, like worst of their kind. For example, when a game is being released, he waits up until midnight to purchase the game, no matter how expensive, and will binge on it for weeks straight while hardly sleeping. During this time, you'll be lucky to get as much as a hello out of him without him getting pissed at you for disrupting him, but still expects people to literally cater to his every need so that he doesn't have to get up to do anything. I don't entertain this because I'm not his fucking mother. Anyway, a year and a half ago, I gave him an ultimatum. You either get a fucking job and start supporting yourself, or you can leave and go mooch off someone else. He chose to get a job. Lasted a month before he quit. Found another job 2 months later, lasted 2 weeks and quit. He was unemployed for 11 months when he finally landed this job in September. Assassin's Creed was just released, 2 weeks ago, and he started calling out every single day. Started staying up until 4 AM playing this game. Would sleep until 8 to 10 AM and then be right back at it while asking me to cook and cater to him. Yesterday I unplugged and hid his Xbox. I knew he was going to call out and jump on his game. As I suspected, that's exactly what he tried doing. He picked a fight with me, said he hated working and I was forcing him to waste away his life. Claimed he was depressed, though that's the first I've heard of it. He then tells me to get off my lazy ass and do something for once. I told him to leave. He takes my car because he's on his last leg. His words. He's not in work clothes, so I know he wasn't going to work. I texted him and said, if you aren't going to work, bring my car back. And if you plan on flaking on this job like the rest of them, you'll not be using my car or my internet. Make your choice. He texts back saying, you're trying to mother me all the time and it's a fucking turn off. You holding things against me all the time also makes you a fucking arsehole. Am I the arsehole? Now, I'm a gamer myself. Used to be a huge gamer, but work and everything and, you know, my dad and all that sort of stuff has just taken over my life. So I haven't gamed in probably about a year now, and I really do miss it. And I used to stay up late to wait for a game to be released, but I didn't binge it quite like this person. And if someone like told me to get off, I would absolutely get off and help out with other things. And it's just like part of one of my own personal rules in life is having moderation on everything, and that includes gaming and being stuck at your computer and all that sort of stuff. And he's just totally disrespecting you. You're having to cook and, as you say, cater to him, and he's doing nothing and skiving off work to play games. You know, that's not healthy. And you gave him a fair ultimatum, and now it's up to you to follow through with it, because it almost seems like you're asking for permission to get rid of him when you need to make the right choice for yourself. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Bonnie Bluer says, not the arsehole, but girl, follow through with that ultimatum. He's lazy and never going to change. The Brass Dancer says, not the arsehole. Why are you with this guy? It sounds more like you are mothering a child rather than being an equal partner in a relationship. Your boyfriend has an addiction if he's depriving himself of sleep to play games constantly. You could tell him that he needs to seek therapy or leave, but you've already issued a similar ultimatum once. He blew his one chance. Don't continue to let him freeload off you. Dirty Workout Clothes says, not the arsehole. What does this guy bring to your life? I couldn't even get past the first paragraph. This is a grown-ass man. You described the lives of 14-year-old boys that were in my classes. Throw out the boy and get a man. He can live in a tent made out of the red flags he dropped. Oboes Hay says, you're the arsehole to yourself for being in this relationship. Angelique T says, not the arsehole clearly, but I want to clarify something. You are acting like his mother. Stop doing this to yourself. You said yourself you aren't his mother, so stop acting like it. Even if you don't cook every meal or do every single chore, you are babying him. You shouldn't have to hide the Xbox of a grown-ass man for him to understand he needs to go to work. He needs to learn control by himself. Whether you see it or not, you are treating him like a child. You provide for him. He uses your things as if they were his, and he clearly doesn't have any ambition to leave this position. This guy is a moocher. He is using you. I also am pretty sure you do more house chores. You really need to think about whether this is the future you want. Stop assuming he will change and be with someone you enjoy the current state of, not some hypothetical ideal of your current man. I think it's also unfair to expect him to change to a massive extent if he doesn't want to. If you aren't happy with him, then you need to accept that. Then OP made a comment about, yes, she does all the chores, and if there's some dishes that aren't done, he looks at her in disgust. And it's just like, get rid, man. Get him out of there. But what do you guys think of this story? Have you ever had a partner like that before? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. And our next story is from Calicade. Am I the arsehole for not letting my wife spend my redundancy pay? This is a throwaway because my wife uses Reddit, though I don't think she looks at this subreddit. So, due to the current circumstances in the world, my previous company downsized and I was made redundant. We were given 2 months notice because the company was amazing like that. They didn't want to let us go, but had to. So I had time to have another job lined up, and thus our income didn't actually take a hit. So as far as I was concerned, that money is fun money. The pay was £8,000, and I had planned on using a part of it to build a homemade electric car with our son, from the base up, so going as far as welding the chassis. So I estimated we'd need about 4.5k to 5k, so I put 6k on the side for the car in total, which I was then going to use the other 2k to put towards a family holiday once everything settled down. I told these plans to my wife and she got upset, claiming she had planned and already promised the money to be used for an expensive spa week over in the EU for her and her sister for after Christmas because her sister was depressed about having to cancel a wedding. I told her that wasn't going to happen as it was my money, especially since she just promised it without consulting me first. Well, an argument ensued and she called me an a-hole and told me that a kit car was a waste of money since it couldn't be used on the road, which is neither true nor false, and that if I was adamant that she wasn't allowed to take her sister on the trip, then I had to tell her sister. She completely ignored that it was going to be a project between me and our son, who just turned 12 this year and has developed a massive interest in cars. PS, before people start commenting, my wife isn't generally an entitled parent. She is normally a lovely woman, though she has a fiery temper at times. I'm 100% sure this is a one-off due to her being disappointed. And there's a little update to this post as well, but we're going to look at some of the comments to see what they say straight away. Amethyst Fire says, everyone sucks here. You have made unilateral decisions with that money without talking with the other. It's not your money or her money. It doesn't work that way when you're married. Maliki says, assuming you share finances, everyone sucks here. Neither one of you should have been making plans with the money without discussing it, but her more so because she committed this money to her sister without telling you. If you have separate finances, then she's a bigger arsehole, but I still think in a marriage, if you get a significant extra amount of money like that, you should talk about what to do with it. Mr. Jeff Atkins says, everyone sucks here. You should have sat down like grown-ups and discussed what to do with the money. And Evil Mel says, in quotes, I told her that wasn't going to happen as it was my money, especially since she just promised it without consulting me first. Not the arsehole. She had no right to promise something before consulting you, especially since it was her money and her plans weren't family, i.e. you, her, son, related. Your plans are awesome. It's wonderful that you plan something both you and your son are interested in. It will bond you all even closer and be something he will always remember. I am a stay-at-home mum, and when my husband gets a bonus for his hard work, I don't assume it is mine to do with as I want. If there is something I'd like, I do bring it up and ask if I can use some for X. Then again, we talk about all the major expenditures. Edits, I thought about his decision about the money. As far as I understood, he hadn't told his son what he wanted to do with it yet, and told her what his plans were. Before anything was done with the money, she got the arsehole moniker because she discussed and planned with her sister without talking to him when she got the idea first. Now I have a quick look at what he said after the comments came in. So he said, edit, I kinda agree with the post that everyone sucks here, but not because it's not my money, but our money, but because it's a lump sum and they rarely come into the house. When it comes to spending money, we typically have an arrangement of I pay bills, needs and general groceries, and then anything left is mine. While she doesn't have a stable income herself, she does earn off hobbies. The money is hers, the excess in my wages are mine. If there is something she wants/needs that is extra to things that come out of the household budget, i.e. toiletries, and she can't afford it herself or has little to no fun money that month, I will split my money with her so we both always have money to do what we want. We sat down and talked about it after dinner today and chose to split it 50-30-20. 50% for me as it covers the cost of building a car I am planning to do with our son. 30 for her because at 3k is more than plenty for a spa day in the UK for 2 people. It will leave them money for a meal even if they can't go for a week's vacation, and then the final 2k will be put into next year's holiday fund. Also, apparently she does read Am I the Arsehole because she came into my office tapping her feet. I had PTSD to my mother finding me playing with matches. That is what turned into us having a proper civil discussion over the problem. Wow, I love the fact that she found out in the end by actually being on the subreddit. And I'm kind of glad it ended in a proper way in the end, a proper civil discussion. That's what I never get with some of these posts, you know. I get called an arsehole a lot of the time because simply I always say, like, the two adults should have a proper conversation and sit down and discuss matters. Well, some people obviously don't agree with that. But I'm glad it actually worked out in the end for once. But what do you guys think of this story? Do you think it went the right way in the end, or do you think OP was entitled to all that money? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And our next story is from Villain Elsie. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to switch rooms after my housemate broke up with their ex? I, 20 female, live in a shared house with one other girl and 5 guys. There's 3 rooms and I share a room with A, 21 male, because we have similar schedules and have been friends for years. My other female housemate B was dating C, and they obviously shared a room, with the other 3 guys in the biggest room. Well, B and C recently broke up. She came to me and asked if I'd be willing to move into her room and C would move into mine, because it was awkward to cohabitate while dealing with the feelings from the breakup. I was like, yeah, damn girl, that's really rough. I feel like we wouldn't necessarily mesh as roommates though. Could you ask one of the guys? For example, she wakes up early and I'm a night owl. She likes things super tidy and I'm more organised chaos. She likes cutesy scented sprays that I'm not the best fan of. To which she said, what, no? She didn't want to room with a guy because they're unsanitary / less neat. I said that sounded like her problem, in nicer terms, and now she's basically giving me the cold shoulder. Am I the arsehole? I could switch and do her a solid. I definitely wouldn't want to be stuck in close quarters with a recent ex, but I like my room and I'm just casual friends with her and close with A. And I feel like it's a bit unfair that I'm the one expected to give up my living arrangement since I'm the only other girl. Edit. Hot damn, this post blew up. I was expecting like 6 responses and a spam DM. Thank you guys. Guess all that time I wasted scrolling Am I the Arsehole instead of studying for midterms paid dividends. And since people keep saying this is why you don't date your roommates. They were dating before they moved in. They signed the lease together, but yeah, don't date your roommates guys, especially if you live with other people because we have Netflix, not pirated TV, and don't need your drama. No, I totally get what you're saying in this. I don't think I would move in your situation either. And I mean, you've been really empathetic towards her. You thought about her situation and you do feel sorry for her. But you've also thought about this logically as well. Your schedules don't meet, you don't like the smell of some of her stuff, and it will grind on you over time. And, you know, then you're just literally gonna end up in a really difficult situation where one of you is probably gonna have to move out because you dislike each other so much. But, so I gotta say, you are not the arsehole in this situation. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. I fart a lot too says, oh, he's back again. Please do not do this, you'll be miserable. They took a risk by living together, knowing there was a possibility of a breakup. Not the arsehole. Monday Night Fuckbull says, not the arsehole, her breakup wasn't your decision, and while you're clearly empathetic, it shouldn't negatively impact your life. She has other options and there are other rooms. Sucks for her, but it's not on you if you have a living situation that works for you. Acrobatic Smoke says, not the arsehole. If you're paying for your own room and that's your rental contract agreement, then you have your own room. Kit666 says, not the arsehole. You have to be comfortable where you live. You are perfectly happy in the spot you are in. If it is that uncomfortable for them to live together, being in different rooms is not going to change that. There are a ton of shared spaces where they will see each other all the time. That's their own issue to figure out. And Chairmanka says, not the arsehole, it's not your job to switch rooms if you don't feel like it. That's why you shouldn't date roommates. Now, I turn it to you guys. What should OP do in this situation? Should she move rooms to keep the peace, or should she say no and stick to her guns and say, look, we won't get on together after a certain amount of time and it will just cause further issues? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. Once again guys, thank you for being here today. It is truly appreciated. In the last video, we had a locomotive driver tell us all the different locations. He's been listening to these stories, and it's absolutely amazing to hear the different locations that my voice is in. And I don't mean for that to sound like really big-headed, because I don't mean it to sound in that way at all. It's just I find it really fascinating. Thank you so much. And some of you have been asking for an update on my dad as well, which I will give you very soon. Whilst there is still like the obvious deterioration that will continue on, he's in okay spirits at the moment, going through a bit of trouble last couple of days, but you know, he's getting there slowly. I'll give you a full update soon. But thank you for being here. It's truly appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.